Hello, I'm Dave Gibson, managing editor of Third Wednesday magazine, an independent quarterly journal of poetry, short fiction, and visual arts, available both online and in print. And this is Third Wednesday Presents, a series of recorded readings by contributing writers who have appeared in our magazine. We hope you enjoy this installment.
The first part of my novel, The Fortune Teller's Factotum, which was published last year by American publisher Hear Our Voice, LLC. Lights from cop cars strobed the vitrines of the St. Maz Mall, and the backed-up traffic in lots and on ramps of the multi-story looked like little toy cars. One young woman was glad not to be trapped in one, but knew if she wanted to get home, she could not just stand on the road. Ashley Hyde heard the word explosion hissed urgently into phones. She smelled fire and oil, and rubber, maybe, but dust for sure. And under the surface, a hint of something sweet but hideous. 10 minutes before, in the depths of the St. Maz College ladies' restroom, she had sensed rather than heard a crump of released air. Nothing to do with restroom business. Explosion! A kid materialized to utter the word. Well, a young man Ashley had seen around the college. He rode the bus too, she thought. Hey, yeah, sure thing. He sounded agitated, as if she disputed it. I knew. Ashley noted that he could have passed for a 12-year-old. She said, I guess you always know an explosion, right? Totally. Out with his phone to snap the stalled and frustrated shoppers of St. Maz. The lights, that traffic. Terrorists. Seriously, said Ashley. Terror in St. Maz? Ashley had often wanted to blow the place up. Could be, huh? Oh, hey, yeah, a foregone sure thing. Ashley never worried about terrorists. About walking past a careless moment in a meth lab? Sure. Unlikely, though, in gleaming fake St. Maz. Getting through her pre-med science classes to empower her to clear the hell out of town and claim the place Columbia had grudgingly allotted her, now that was a worry. When the dust settled on her grades and on her footprints, and she was living a real life in a real place among real people who didn't pose questions whose answers they already knew, then she'd worry about stray explosions. You got a car? The kid asked. There was that very vexing thing in her mind. Ashley could have said, a guy wrecked my car to shake me down for the insurance. She'd have relived greedy eyes on her and others flashing unhelpful pity. And my well-meaning parent and his plain old mean partner think it's appropriate for me to ride the bus meanwhile because I crashed a car the month before. Another car, a different car, and that time kind of was my fault. It's complicated. The temptation to continue, you see me on the bus, little boy, so you tell me if I have a car, huh? Maybe she got it wrong, though, and this wasn't that kid from her college who caught the bus. It was some other kid, out where explosions happen and scared, summoning up nerve and verve to talk to young women who towered over him. She just said, no. Hey, wouldn't do you no good anyhow. This kid gestured at the cars, part of the motionless background, the discontent at the stasis discernible in the voices and the occasional rumble of a vehicle in low gear. So, like, where do you live? Falkender. Ashley conjured up her town's windows and doors, eyes and ears, pointed fingers and pointless questions. Cool. The kid made an impressed face he dropped almost at once. Wait, what? He nodded toward the vehicle, lumbering onto the sidewalk. It crawled in their direction. He snorted out a laugh. Like to see how far he thinks he's going to get. A deep grey Lexus SUV boss car with blacked out windows. Its lights flashed. People peered, but Ashley knew those lights were aimed at her. Guy's a psycho. The kid adopted gruffness and guffawed. Hey, psycho, he calls. He raised his phone and tracked that car in his camera. Maybe he picked up some sign from the car's language that made him ask, with a touch of comedy, friend of yours? People rubbernecked, disapproving or amused. Some saw it as a valiant move, albeit doomed, and offered a sarcastic applause. But with roadblocks ahead and gridlock all around and the smell of an explosion in the air, any diversion would do. People wavered in the hope of fun starting. Their officious faces full on, a couple of rotund uniformed security guards kept their distance. The car's near side window hummed down to reveal Ashley's neighbour, Martin Ferry. Compact man in his 60s, eyes a startling blue, teeth unsettlingly white, skin scarred minutely, salt and pepper buzz-cut hair and even length all over, like a G.I. Joe boy's doll. Ex-military, Ashley knew. Sometimes when she saw him up close, she wondered whether he'd been blown apart in some skirmish and restored in a lab. Martin Ferry said, going your way. Oh, you are? Ashley pointed to the still life around them. She opened the passenger door anyhow and got in. You think so? Say what? Said the kid at Ashley's elbow. Psycho? Martin Ferry kept the window down. Was that psycho, you said? Not at all. The kid looked stung and lost a further year. An indignant child. And anyhow, what? You can lip read or what? Yeah, I can. Ashley's neighbour checked that the kid had nothing more to say, then hissed the window up. It hid Ashley's lopsided smile from the kid and a tiny wave, fingers next to her ear. Friend of yours? No. Ashley felt guilty about the denial, but he was just some kid. Comic because he was so serious. Charming because he was charmless. She'd never see him become a man. She'd be out of there long before that. Psycho. Martin Ferry shook his head. Mr. Ferry, it is a bit weird, though. I mean, just where are we going from here? The roads are totally closed. See what we can do, huh? Martin Ferry walkie-talkied the security guards to facilitate the maneuver of the car into what looked to Ashley like a panelled wall on the side of the mall. It tipped up like a garage door to reveal a ramp into a part of the mall's innards, storing police, fire and security vehicles and equipment. Ashley saw a mystery of tunnels, an amusement park ride from a scary movie. She said, hey, amazing. The easiest thing in the world, Martin Ferry conveyed with a gesture that nevertheless appreciated her amazement. They were guided through the tunnels and onto a hoist to a mezzanine, and through more humming doors, waved through by more guards. On the other side, more men in uniform, cops. After a nervous double take, hands on the butts of their pistols, they waved the car on, not fast or far. Martin Ferry stopped, leaned out, and addressed a grizzled plainclothes man. They made disconnected greetings, one-time colleagues, not friends exactly. Little accident, almost laughed out. The question almost got a laugh in return. Sure, looks like they never meant for this to happen, at least not at such an inconvenient moment. Jihadis? Well, the cop noted Ashley there and said softly, not from the look of what we got left. The conversation supplied answers to questions Ashley might have asked. She gazed out. A diorama of smashed vitrines and displays, concertinaed, goods on the sidewalk, paper all over, and vehicles that looked as if they had simply been parked wrong, rather than scattered with violence. It converged on the wreck of a big blue car. Ashley's semi-idle look was transformed into a shock of recognition. Something fluttered in her chest, paused and pumped to life again as a deep breath. Did the car belong to a friend? Impossible. She had no friends. This had to be her imagination. It was a parody of the Ford that had written off her second car, her gleaming but boring tin can Nissan. She was wondering how to ask who had been in the Ford. A combination of three tattooed losers in their 30s, maybe? And had it been registered to one Harold Chester, voluntary bald head in a sweatshirt, Bermuda shorts, and beat up training shoes that looked like pigs' faces. He had rustled up witnesses to say that Ashley ignored a stoplight and appeared, daydreaming, in front of him just in time for the impact that crumpled her front passenger side. Lucky she had no friends then, huh? And lucky, too, that she had just dropped a co-worker home. What with the passenger door, seat, wheel arch, window, and glove box reduced to airbag and junk, leaving her almost comically unhurt. One whisper about Ashley Hyde in Falkendale was that she was a survivor, but her cars weren't. That was the start of my novel, The Fortune Teller's Factotum. Cover is here. I'm not sure if that's very visible there. That's better, bit of light. And that's available in all of the usual places. My police department picture. Thanks very much.
Once again, our reader today was Nick Sweeney, reading an excerpt from a recent novel. I'm David Gibson, managing editor of Third Wednesday magazine. Goodbye for now.